Hey everyone, I'm Geryn Roche, and the image that you're seeing, oh wait, it's not showing yet. I teach in ceramics. I teach beginning ceramics at UW-M, and I just started last year, so this will be my second year teaching at UW-M, and looking forward to possibly teaching wheel throwing in the spring. So, yeah. So, the image that you're seeing on the left is probably one of my most prized possessions. It's the very first pinch pot I made in kindergarten. And I think my mom must have had a sixth sense that I would become an artist because she held on to it for all these years. And I'm glad she did. And nowadays, you might see me rolling around Milwaukee in my '88 Dodge Ram truck. So that's me there hauling some of my pots around town. So I'm primarily a functional artist. So for me, it all begins with that ball of clay. This is probably my favorite moment when the material has nowhere to go but somewhere, and it's full of infinite possibilities. And after 15 plus years of working with clay, I'm still just in awe of its ability to go from just a hunk of clay to a useful object. And that really drives my practice. So I think for me, it all begins with process, and I try to find ways to enjoy and savor each part of the process, from the repetition of cutting out endless circles to the magical process of printing images onto the clay. One of the things I love most about ceramics is that I can move around from task to task, and there's always some new problem to solve or territory to explore. So the imagery I draw from comes mostly from textiles from the 1960s and 70s, and I'm drawn to the radical color combinations and the bombardment of pattern that existed in those times. And I think part of my attraction to these images comes from the fact that I was a pretty shy kid, and I'm still kind of an introvert. So using these patterns is kind of like yelling out to the world when I often feel sort of muted or contained by my own mind. So the forms that interest me often also come out of mid-century design, and I'm really attracted to the curvature that you see in so many of the housewares and the furniture and even the signage back then. And I do think that mid-century design can be a little bit uniform or stiff. So I like to pull ideas from there, but try and take those forms to a more casual and approachable place. So what ends up happening is this: you make a lot of stuff when you're working with clay, and it's through that repetition that I think you start to find meaning and value in the work. And it's through many micro adjustments and little decisions and moments of really paying attention that the work evolves, slowly but surely. So for me, and I would say probably for most potters, what makes the work you do valuable is all in the details. The little moments that can't ever be recreated, like a little glaze drip or the crackling of slip. And the details on the bottom of a mug, I think, really show people the care and the time and the attention that you're giving to each piece. And then it really all comes together when the pieces are being used. So it's beyond me and it's out of my hands, and it gets to live with someone else and be a part of their life, whether it's a special meal or their everyday cup of coffee or serving treats to their furry friend. And it connects me in a physical way to others. And I think that really matters in our age of technology and hiding behind screens. So because I came, or before I came to UW-M, I worked as a ceramics teacher with adults with developmental disabilities. And that really changed the way that I looked at myself as an educator, but also as an artist and a maker. And I think that that experience really taught me to be much more present in the moment and to celebrate so-called flaws or disadvantages in life. So that's triggered a shift in my work where I'm trying to strike a balance, I think, between the ego of asserting my will on the clay and the humility of letting the material kind of just do what it wants. So that's brought me to working with a lot of pinching and drippy slips. And if you want to see more of my work, you can visit my website at gerynroche.com. Thanks.